As we continue with the effects of electric current, we have made the ionic solution. Now we want to connect the circuit to allow the flow of current inside an ionic solution. What do? We take 2 pencils. We need conducting wires. We need a cell after making an ionic solution. After that, we connect the cell properly, knowing that a positive sign and a negative sign must be connected to both the pencils. Those pencils will no longer be pencils, and we must make sure that they are properly sharpened, because the electrodes that we use, the metal that we must use are not always accessible. You can use pencil. After using pencil, after sharpening your pencil, you connect with using the crocodile clips. As you connect the crocodile clips, as you connect the crocodile clips at the tip or where the pencil is sharpened, you make sure that you look for a cardboard, a piece of cardboard. If you know that cup, the beaker, we call it a beaker. It's not just a cup, it's not a glass, it's a beaker. We take a beaker and we make holes on the card box, and we place it on top of the beaker after we have mixed the ion solution. And then we make holes on the card box, those holes that fit the pencil. Those pencils, we make them dangle in the air. The reason why we put that cardboard is because we don't want those pencils, which now we call electrodes, that they must not touch each other, because it will affect the accuracy or the fairness of the experiment. And it must not also touch the sides of the beaker, because it will affect the flow of current, so that the circuit will not be. So after connecting the electrode, the other one that is connected to the positive side will become positive. The other one that is connected to the negative side will become negative. So these 2 electrodes, once we have connected them to the cell and it has been dipped inside, they are both going to have names. The one that is connected to the positive will be called an anode. The one that is connected to the negative will be called a cathode. So the cathode will be negatively charged, while the anode will be positively charged. So you must be able to differentiate between them, because what they're going to do, they're going to play a very important role in the pumping out of the copper and chlorine from the water, from the ionic solution that we have made. So we are making what we call a pump of this ionic solution. Ions, which is copper ions and chlorine ions, are going to be pumped out of that water. Remember, the water, the color of the water will be blue before you pump it out, due to the presence of copper chloride inside the water, which has been separated, because now it's no longer a compound that is separated from water, but it has been made a solution. After that, because it has been made a solution, it has got charges. So those charges are the ones that gonna play an important role. Not forgetting that copper is positively charged and chlorine is negatively charged. And also not forgetting that we have a negative electrode and a positive electrode. A positive electrode is the anode, while the negative electrode is called the cathode. So both of them, they play a very important role. Remember, unlike charges attract each other. When we say unlike charges attract each other, we must pay attention that they attract each other, yes, but there is a difference of attraction that will happen in this experiment. the elements will not attract each other, meaning copper and chlorine will not attract each other. Electrodes will not attract each other. Learners confuse this. When you ask them a question, they will say that positive copper will attract negative chlorine. No, my child. Pay attention. Now we want to pump out this, the ionic solution, separating the copper and the chlorine. So copper and chlorine will not attract each other, and electrodes will not attract each other. So what will attract each other is that copper, because it's positive, will be attracted to the cathode, which is negative. And it is because unlike charges attract each other. So current will be flowing from the cell to the conducting wire and to the electrode. The electrode, which is the negative charge electrode. And the negative charge electrode will be able to let positive to attach to itself. The positive ion, which is the copper. And as current move out through the solution, it will go via the positive electrode, which is the anode. The anode will start to have bubbles of gas. Those bubbles of gas, we call them chlorine gas. So that is how we separate copper chloride. So when you see bubbles on the anode, know that you have the chlorine is being separated from copper. And in the negative side, you will see a brownish discharge. That brownish discharge deposit is the one that is the copper. So that way, if we let the experiment stay for a long time, overnight, until it change color, we will see enough brown deposit on the cathode and the bubbles of gas on the anode. So the product of the experiment at the end will be three things. We will have, number one, the brownish discharge deposit on the cathode, the negatively charged electrode. And then we will also see the bubbles of chlorine gas on the anode, the positively charged electrode. So that is how they are separated. That is how we say this is what we call electrolysis. Electrolysis is when two compounds are separated from each other by the use of electricity. So we call that electrolysis. So if you don't understand this lesson, my child, as I'm teaching you, go and listen to this video referring to this information on your textbooks. If you are using my textbook, this one, Platinum, I want you to go and use it from, refer to the information on page 147. It has all the information step by step and connecting of the experiment. So you must understand that when you have put that solution, attraction will happen between the ionic solution and the electrodes, not between the two electrodes, not between the ionic solution elements, which is copper, chlorine. No, but the copper and the chlorine will be attracted to the electrodes. So you have to master that, which one will be attracted to the other electrode, because we have anode and cathode. Learners confuse the two. They say positive attract negative, because we say unlike charges attract each other. So don't confuse the two, Manaka. Don't confuse the two, my child. The electrodes are the pumps of copper chloride, are not there to attract each other. And copper and chlorine, for them to, copper ions and chlorine ions, for them to be having charges, it doesn't mean they will attract each other. It means they will be attracted to the electrodes. Please understand, this is the best of the best. Succeed in your lessons in grade 8. Thank you.